What is SNMP and how to use it in IT monitoring? This is the topic for this video. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Nabila Qabbani. Welcome to my channel Fingerprint in IT. SNMP stands for Simple Network Management Protocol, used for monitoring and managing devices in the network, and it's very famous in monitoring. The devices that support SNMP allow us to query health matrices related to the device to monitor its performance. If you don't know the importance of performance monitoring, check my blog post in the description box. SNMP has three versions: SNMP version 1, SNMP version 2 Community, short form for it is SNMP v2c, and SNMP version 3. Version 1 and version 2 Community are not secure as they are not encrypted. Traffic will be passing as plain text, which means if someone is eavesdropping on the traffic, they will be able to see the information as it is. Whereas SNMP version 3 is secure as the traffic is encrypted. How does SNMP works? You will have the device sending the SNMP request. It will send the request to the monitored device using the SNMP protocol. Let's see the names of each of these components. The device sending the SNMP request and collecting the information is called the Network Management System, NMS, or the SNMP Manager. The device that we want to monitor is a managed device, and it will have SNMP agent installed on it. SNMP has two mechanisms to work. First one is called pull, which will use port 161 UDP to communicate. It will be performing GET command to a series of numbers that identify specific health aspect. These numbers are called the OID, or the object identifier. The arrow identifies the source and destination. We have also SNMP trap command, which allows the managed device to send its information when a specific event occurs to the network management system on port 162 UDP. We are discussing in this video the most common commands for SNMP, which are GET and trap, but there are other commands as well. Let's get more details about the OID. What is an OID and what is a MIB? The OID is an identifier that can uniquely identify a managed object in a management information base, the MIB file. This MIB file has a hierarchical structure of OIDs. It is like a database describing each and every OID and its functionality. MIB files are mostly found on official vendors' websites or sometimes available to download within the application itself. How we can read the MIB file? In this example, I'm using a MIB browser tool from Pessler. It's a free tool. You can use any MIB browser that is suitable for you. I imported a Windows MIB file that I got from Windows Server itself. We'll show you this later in this video. The MIB file name is host resources MIB. We can see the hierarchy in this file. Inside the HR system, we can see a row for system uptime. This can be used to read the uptime from the Windows managed device. On the right-hand side, we can see all its details: the name, the kind, it's a single OID, the OID itself, as we said, it's a series of numbers. We can get also the unit if they defined it, and the description. Sometimes the unit is mentioned in the description. In this second example, we can see the storage is having a table kind. This means we can have a table way of getting the information. For example, there could be multiple logical drives. So for each drive, I can get the index, description, allocation units, size, how much used, and storage allocation failures. Let's move now to the lab to show you how you can use this information. As you can see, this is the MIB browser tool that I showed you earlier. One thing to notice is that some of the OIDs have a string type, which means they will retrieve a string when we request for the information. This is important if the monitoring tool you are using have a specific way of dealing with those type of OIDs. Let's move to the monitoring tool. For this demo, I'm using the PRTG Network Monitor. I have here a Windows device. We will be adding the Uptime OID. This monitor will allow me to add a single type OID to the monitoring. We can customize the name, and the most important thing to get is the Uptime OID. Usually, the MIB file should tell us the unit that is retrieved by this value. However, in this MIB file, it's not mentioned. As I have tested this earlier, I know that the uptime that we will be retrieving will be in time ticks. This is very common for time measurement value. So for us to convert this to something that we can understand, we need to do the calculation. To convert from time ticks to minutes, we need to divide by 6,000. As we can see, now the monitoring is working fine, and it's telling me that the uptime is 20 minutes. Let's verify the same. And yes, the uptime is 20 minutes. Now this monitoring will continue to happen depending on the tool you are using or depending on the scanning interval. Here I have the scanning interval as 60 seconds. Means it will take the measurement of the uptime value in each and every minute. If you are using different type of monitors like CPU or memory, you will be starting to have like some graphs or some history for the performance of the device. Definitely that depends on the tool that you are using. Let's try now to add the drives. As we said, this is a table type. We will be adding a table type monitor. That is why it's important to understand the difference between each type. Because if the monitoring tool deals with them in a different way, you need to know where to place each configuration. As we can see here, it's getting the name and it will replace it by table name and row identifier. For this example, row identifier is enough. Here we can see the table. As we can see, it's showing me for each and every drive all the information that was in the MIB: index, storage type, description, allocation units, size, and used. If we can see, we see similar things here. We will be selecting only the drives that we want. The identifier is what will be the main thing in the table. For me, it will be the HR storage description. That is because PRTG does not support having string values within the table, so I need to have it in the sensor name or the monitor name. Now, let's define the parameters for the table. So I want the storage size, sometimes you will see instead of names here, the real numbers of the OIDs, so you can deal them with the same way. So for example, you might see 1.4 or something like this, and you will be selecting the same from here. So if you saw that type, it's the same way but different representation. Here we can define the unit. Let's say for now it's a custom. And I want to add another one, which is for the used size. And let's click on create. As you can see, I'm getting now the information in a table type. This is not the exact drive values for Windows. It has its own calculation, but this is out of the scope for this video. This is for just a demo of how to configure a table using SNMP. From where I got the MIB file, it was under C drive, Windows, System 32, and I searched for all of the files that have the extension .mib. As you see, it's here, it's host mib.mib, and there are others as well. If you don't have SNMP configured on your Windows server, you will not be able to see those files. You can configure it easily from adding role and feature from the server manager. If you see, I have it already installed. After this, there are definitely other configuration requirements for SNMP, but this is also out of the scope of this video. The idea here was just an example of how we can get a MIB file. If you want to monitor a technology that you don't know where to find its MIB file, either look it up on their main website, or if you have a contact with their support, try to reach out to them and ask for the MIB file. Now you know the basic information required to start configuring SNMP in your monitoring tool. I hope this video was useful for you. Thanks for watching.